Hello guys, and welcome to Ride VIP, the rideshare channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video we're going to talk about what car is better to rent when it comes to renting a Tesla or a Toyota Prius in order for you to rent it through Uber, through like a Hertz platform or whatever, so that you can drive for Uber. So which one of these choices is going to be best? So both of these will rent at about similar price, and the expense for them is going to be very similar, but there's a couple things that you should actually take notice. So let's get started. So obviously I rent a Tesla Model 3 from Hertz, and it cost me $415. That's with insurance included. Without the insurance, it's $348. That's with all the taxes and fees. I talked to somebody today that basically rents a Toyota Prius through Hertz as well, and he's basically doing Uber in the Toyota Prius, and he pays basically the same price. So I know a lot about this electric car, and I could go on and on and on all day about it, like what I like and why do I think this is best. But anyways, what's important is how much money you actually end up spending at the end of the day and what works best for you. So I asked him, I said, how long do you drive? And he says he can drive as much as like 400 miles a day, which would be like a full shift. And he's based out of Charlotte. So he was actually asking me, what do I think of the Tesla? Because he was a little bit concerned about the charging, and is he able to basically do similar amount of miles with a Tesla. So anyways, let's go ahead and actually first of all take a look at the pricing of both. So both of these cars will rent for approximately $350. Let's just even out the numbers. Now that is without the insurance, so that means with insurance about $450 per week, okay, per week. So I want to make sure that I state that clear, because a lot of you guys probably rented cars in the past, and that would be the price for about like 3 days, so this is very good price when it comes to actually renting one for you to work. I also want to address this, which may or may not be concerning to you. How many miles can you drive and how many personal miles? Because I know Lyft has such a thing, and there's a certain amount of miles you could drive, and that is not the case with Uber. So basically you could drive unlimited miles. I believe you need to do at least 30 rides per week in order for you to qualify, and before you even get this ride, you need to do about, I think, like 30 to 50 rides to start. So you can't like immediately get in there and rent one, so you got to at least do at least like 50 rides. It's easy to get 50 rides within 1 week. You'll get 50 rides. I mean, as a matter of fact, you could get them like 3 days. After that, you could just rent it. So anyways, what about the Toyota Prius? So similar price. It's probably going to cost you about $415 once you do get the insurance. What about the cost of charging versus fueling up? So for the Toyota Prius, you're gonna have to fuel it up. I mean, you could fuel it up like a couple times, like maybe like topping it off or whatever. To drive about 450 miles, it will cost you anywhere from $35 to $40 per day. What about charging of the Tesla? Well, depends on when you charge the Tesla. So today I arrived at, well, first of all, let me explain this. I charge at home, so that is almost free, basically. So I plug it up. This particular Tesla has a range of 262 miles. It likes being plugged in. It does not mind being overcharged. As a matter of fact, it's recommended to just leave it on the charger for this Tesla. So it doesn't hurt the battery whatsoever. So you could leave it on charger. So that's already a good thing. Okay, so when I leave my house, I have a full charge on the Tesla. And I will get into how much it costs to set up a Tesla charger right now. So it cost me $380 to get all the supplies. If you want to know how to do it, let me know. I'll show you what I did. But anyways, moving on. So I start off with 262 miles, then I start driving. So depending on how it goes and stuff, sometimes I plan like, okay, like today I had like 99 miles left, okay, out of the 262 when I left home. I felt a little hungry, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get something to eat. So I decided to go Buffalo Wild Wings, and I know where it's located, and I was actually 5 miles away from the charger. So I went to the charger, plugged it up. It said 35 minutes is all it's gonna take to get a complete charge. And I plugged it in, walked to Buffalo Wild Wings in that same shopping center. It probably has taken them like 10 minutes to make them. Walked back to my car, and then once I arrived, it was 10 minutes remaining on the charge. So while I was charging, I basically ate about like 5 wings, and that was enough. That was already like filling. And basically at that point, it did not feel like this was an extra thing that I gotta charge. I just basically, I need food, vehicle needs food. That's simple done. So it cost me 16 bucks. No, that's before taxes, like 18 bucks plus tip to get some wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, right? But it cost me $11.20 to charge it at 28 cents a kilowatt hour in the daytime. So right now it's 6:05 p.m. I just left that charger, and currently I'm on the way to pick up a client while I'm talking to you. All right, so that's not bad. So now I could drive 250 miles. This will allow me to drive it for the next 5 hours, and then I plan to go home at the end of, you know, like basically at the end, like I'll have like 50 miles left over and I'll just go home. But let's say I would continue working right till midnight or past midnight. So at midnight till 4 a.m. the Tesla Supercharger only cost 10 cents per kilowatt hour. So what does that equate to a full charge? Okay, so this particular time I only charge 150 miles, but what about if you need to charge like 230 miles, right? We're just talking in range here. That will cost you $5, sometimes a little less, sometimes just a tiny bit more. I'm talking about pennies here. So basically $5 to charge that amount. So that is great. That's a considerable difference versus 28 cents a kilowatt hour. Now, this particular supercharger only charges 28 cents a kilowatt hour, and the one that was like another 3 miles away was costing 37 cents a kilowatt hour. So it would have cost me slightly more depending on location. And you could get all of this pricing directly from Tesla screen when you're looking up chargers. So with all that being said, how much does it cost to keep a Tesla charged? Let's pretend you don't have a charger at home and you need to charge a Tesla twice, and you're driving pretty much almost all of the miles. So 230 miles at 30 cents a kilowatt hour will cost you approximately 15 bucks. So let's say you need to charge it twice, because you would need to charge it twice in order to do this. It's gonna cost you 30 bucks, okay? Give or take, maybe it could cost you slightly more, like $35. So the same thing with the Prius, about $35. Could be $30, about $35 if you drive it the max. So the cost is about similar. So the only problem or a solution is going to be, do you mind stopping at a supercharger? Is this more of a hassle for you? Because the actual charging, depending on where you go, if you come with almost empty, it will still take you 30 minutes to charge. It actually will take you less than 35, because I arrived there with 99 miles left. So the less miles you have, the faster it charges. So literally, it would take about 30 minutes for me to charge a full charge. That is if I had like, let's say like 20% left over on the battery. So with all that being said, first, it's going to be a personal preference what you want to rent, because the cost difference is going to be about the same. Now, if you're that type of person where you don't like to wait, a Prius is going to be best for you, because you're just on the go, and you just want to get it done and fuel it up, and there's nothing wrong with it, because that is the best way to go about it. But let's say you're working on some certain quest, and now you got to go to the charger, and maybe the area is surging, but you got to charge right there and then. Well, then you're gonna sort of like miss out maybe like on that opportunity that exists. While like that's with the Tesla, right? Because you got to go to a charger. But with a Toyota Prius, fuel it up and then you go. So this is a video when it comes to renting a vehicle to do your job. Between those two, it's not gonna matter. Now, which car would you feel best in? Which one do I think is the safest car? I definitely think a Tesla is the safest car to be in. It's got autopilot, which is great. This is a fun car. While you're charging, you could watch Netflix and eat something while you're watching it. So it's definitely not boring to basically charge the Tesla. Not boring at all. Especially if you got a home charger, that is definitely the way to go, because you will leave home on a full charge. Maybe you live in apartments, you have a charger. Sometimes those chargers are free, so that's also convenient. Like, you just plug it into the apartments, go to sleep, wake up, you got a full charge, go to work, and then maybe you decide to take a break, come see your family, plug it back up. It's gonna be a slow charge probably. It's probably gonna take like 5 to 8 hours to charge on one of those chargers. Like my home charger, depending on like how much battery life I have left, can take anywhere from 5 to 6 hours to as much as 8 hours to, you know, charge it completely. But it charges at 29 miles per hour. That's kind of how you calculate it, and it's a consistent type of charge. It doesn't matter if you come there with a full charge or the least charge, but of course if you preheat the battery, it will charge slightly faster. But I did not notice any difference with preheating or not preheating. It's always consistent 29 miles per hour. So with this Tesla being 262 miles, obviously you're not going to come home empty. You're going to have some remaining, so 5 to 6 hours charging, you should be good to go. Personally, obviously I like Tesla the best when it comes to renting. I feel a lot better at it. I noticed that customers are a lot more respectable to you when you driving a car like this, because in their mind they're probably thinking that, okay, possibly you're just doing this on the side and that you're a lot more professional. You know, that's kind of like what I've noticed. And I've also noticed a little bit better tips, especially today. People have been tipping me a lot more. Also, we need to talk about which one would you make more money on. I also think it would be a Tesla, because a Tesla qualifies for comfort rides and also comfort green, X, and obviously Uber green. Now, I do get some comfort rides occasionally, but if you just come on to do comfort, you're not going to see any rides. I've tested it twice. One time in the morning from like almost like 3:40 a.m. till 6 a.m. I was available only to do comfort, electric, and nothing. I didn't get a single offer. So basically wasted 3 hours, but wasn't necessarily wasted. I was not a charger, but I was like in Charlotte downtown just watching Netflix, because I really needed to test that so that I could make a video about it and let you guys know how that goes. And then that was actually a Friday morning, just in case anyone wants to know. Then I tested this in the evening from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the whole 5 hours. What a waste of time that was, because not a single request. So that Friday, I wasted 8 hours for no reason, and that was last week. So not gonna do that again. But if you're available for all the different services, then you will get some comfort rides requests, and I already have taken like 2 or 3 today. But out of all my rides, I noticed most people tipped. I will need to dive deep and take a look exactly how many people tipped, but for like a screen recording type of video. But I'll tell you what, guys, for the experience, I like the Tesla best. Now, in the future, I am planning to rent a Prius just to see from the personal experience how will I feel driving one of those and what do I think of it, because I never drove a Prius. I've been inside one. I like how they're roomy inside. Like, they're pretty nice cars. Got nothing against them, especially with the latest Prius. They look beautiful. It looks like it's an electric car, but it's a hybrid. For the car that you need to just get up and go and not worry about the distance, and you could just keep on going, fuel up and go for the long trips, I'd say a Prius would work out best for that. But if you're driving locally and you charge it up at home, then I think a Tesla would work out best. Even though there's really no difference, it would be a personal preference still. But a Tesla would work out best in that situation, just because you could also just keep on driving. And the best thing about charging a Tesla is that you actually get some kind of break. Most people, there's so much on the go in the hustle that they forget about their cells, they forget about their health, they just don't stop moving. So because you do need a charge about twice a day, once a day if you have a home charger, it at least gives you a little breather, you know, where you could just sit down and relax. So I think that's important. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what car do you drive and which one do you prefer? If you have a Tesla, put down in the comments below. If you have a Prius, put down your comments below. In the next video, I would like to talk about which car is better to buy, a Tesla or a Prius. You might be surprised at my answer, guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourself and see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.